So after the warm-up, we'll get them started with the writing prompt and then close it out with some sharing?
That'll do it.
And we are definitely taking out the article, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's how I see it. It's just too much for day one. We have them for 6 weeks, we can work on it later.
I just want to give these girls the tools to tell their story, show them something special, prove we're different.
They've had the same old white man teaching them language arts for the last 3 years. They're gonna know we're different the second they meet us. Was your phone ding the same thing as my phone ding?
America's favorite TV dad?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yo, it's crazy how this keeps happening.
It's a damn shame.
And if this was a black or a brown woman coming forward with all of this, you can bet they wouldn't have believed her so easily. Would have been calling her fast and loose, making it her fault.
Yeah.
And there's just no remorse.
Zero.
But here, they destroy man's life like it's nothing. Not a single sliver of evidence, yet people ready to give this man a public execution like he didn't spend his career showing the world that black men can be great dads.
Wait, have you read what the woman said he did? That's gotta count for something.
I read what she said. It was terrible, but it's not evidence.
You saying you don't believe her?
I'm saying we don't live in a world where everybody tells the truth.
Well, what reason would she have to lie?
Limelight, book deal, hush money, I don't know, I'm just saying it's possible.
Well, it's only hush money if it's something someone wants you to keep quiet about. She risks losing a lot more than she stands to gain.
But some of these accusations do get proven false.
Yeah, less than 10%. But even though statistically she's likely telling the truth, you're saying you don't believe her?
Look, I want to believe her, I do. I'm just saying it's not enough to condemn a man. Open an investigation for sure, but let the investigation run its course before you ruin someone's career. I grew up watching this man. He did so much for the people, and now it seems like the community's turning their back on him based on the words of one white woman.
Are you serious? Is she serious? She's defending this rapist, talking about it's for the people. The people? He ain't the people. He ain't for him. He's for himself, and I ain't with it. This woman has receipts, texts, screenshots, plane tickets, and people still want to say she's lying? How? Based on what? The fact that this nigga played a stand-up guy on TV? Fuck that. Even if we ignore this new case, put the white woman pointing fingers at a black man aside for a sec. He still cheated. Irrefutable. He left his black wife at home with his black kids while he was sneaking around, sticking it wherever he wanted. He treats them like that, and I'm supposed to rush to his defense? For what? You want to stand up for underrepresented and marginalized people victimized by a system built on prejudice? Go march for the sex workers he paid. And that's when he was still interested in consent. You want to talk the fate of a black man hanging on the white words of a 911 call? Let's talk about these barbecue Beckys calling the cops on kids for hanging out on the corner that they grew up on because they look suspicious. You want to talk the perpetuation of negative stereotypes and the lack of balance in promoting positive figures? Sign me up. Giving voice to black and brown people living under the erasure of the white gaze? I'm there. But defending this monster of a man who cheated regularly on his wife, betrayed his family, and allegedly drugged this woman, dragged her to a hotel room, penetrated her unconscious body, continued after she woke up, terrified, manipulated her into silence after leaving her alone to wallow in her trauma? Nah, miss me with that.
What you mean?
My mama would say, black men get some money and some fame, and the first thing he do is get a white woman, get 2 kids, then divorce, the white woman gets half his money. I'm just saying, the intersection between I made it out, I can have white pussy, and I'm a man, I can take it whenever I want is real. I've seen it a million times, and I know you have too.
Yes, I have, but I've also seen lots of black men do right by their black wives, even if they make it big. Don't forget, he was one of the few who set that example on TV.
No, his character set the example. He was cheating. He admitted as much. That's not debatable.
Okay, you're right about that, but we don't know he raped this woman. And trust me, if it's proven he did it, then I have nothing for him. Throw the book at him. Put him under the jail. He deserves what he gets, and that's any man. I don't care if he's black, white, Puerto Rican, Asian, whatever. If he did it, he did that. But it's as if when they say he did it, there isn't an ounce of doubt.
What level of proof do you need? This isn't some cop show where security footage pops up out of nowhere to advance the plot. There is no DNA evidence for a crime like this that happened decades ago. All we have is their word.
That ain't enough. I don't know what is, but it ain't that. We're talking about someone's life.
But we're talking about
and if she's telling the truth, then yes, her life is deeply affected and she deserves justice. But when it comes to the accused, we destroy their character, bring them down, shame them. And if it's not true, then what? Oh, I'm sorry? Not even. We just drop the charges and expect them to forget that shit. They plastered this all over the media, dug up any vindictive motherfucker with the grudge from 30 years ago to act as character witnesses in the news reports, called him all kinds of out his name in the tabloids. They told his kids that he's a rapist. You can't forget shit like that. As far as I'm concerned, the burden of proof is on the accuser. If you open your mouth to say someone did something so ugly, so heinous, you better be able to back that shit up. Otherwise, you get lynch mobs, literally. And let's not act like this is the first time that a white woman got with a black man, felt some kind of way after, and then flipped the script so she could play the victim card so she could keep her Snow White purity. This racist King Kong narrative about the big scary black man coming to rape our white women is nothing more than fear-mongering propaganda. It's a bullshit story that's older than abolition. A white woman pointing a finger at a black man was a death sentence not too long ago. If we don't stand up for ours, no one will. And I don't believe the word of a white woman over anyone black, not for one goddamn second. If you are gonna come after Black America's dad and drag his name through the mud and insult everything he stood for, I'm gonna need you to keep that same energy with these rich and famous white men when it comes out that they offer roles in exchange for sex, force themselves on underage boys, rape little girls, or marry their adopted daughters. Shit, Elvis dated a 14-year-old for 8 years and then married her, and he celebrated all over the world.
Well, first off, fuck Elvis. We can't let whiteness be our moral compass. And I'm gonna need you to keep that same energy when we talk about blatant black predators. So yes, fuck Harvey Weinstein, fuck Woody Allen, and fuck R. Kelly too.
Oh, for sure, he gotta go. That's that on that. And to my point about the scales of justice tipping against our favor, you know he would have been locked up years ago if it was little white girls he was messing with. If he was creeping around schools on the north side, this would have been nipped in the bud from the jump.
Oh, absolutely. But that's on us too. See, I'm more concerned about getting our house in order. I don't have a fuck to spare with what white people think about who we put on our pedestals. But to know that people in my neighborhood watched that video and still played his music at the block parties and the cookouts, now we gotta do better.
Yeah, you're right. People didn't want to acknowledge what he did, still don't, because that would mean admitting their own guilt. They were too busy protecting a black man that they didn't realize how much they failed those black girls. That's not me though, that's not this.
Well, good. Because it's gonna be those girls, the ones who are gonna be in that classroom tomorrow. They're the ones who are gonna need the most support. They need to know that their voices matter. They need to know that someone's listening.
Then let's listen. Scrap the lesson plan, let's open up the conversation to them. See how they feel.
I like that.